Hey Cobras!
Welcome back to the third episode of Snake Guys with your host, Jalen Romero.
And Leslie Baluha. Today we'll be showing you the best of our magnets.
Enjoy!
Fresh direct.
It's been a lot more exciting than I thought it would be. There's so much that we can do, and we've really expanded our possibilities, and we're pushing our limits, and the kids are working so hard. I'm really, really proud of what we're accomplishing. So, wow, that's tough with Gen Zer sometimes. There's motivation aspects that you need to just try to get in there, work with them, be willing to do what they're doing, and say, hey, I'm working just as hard as you guys are working, and hopefully, lead by example for motivation. And that's what I always try to do.
As an on-air personality, I strive to be informative, engaging, and friendly. It's important to use your energy so you don't lose the attention of your audience. This magnet has brought me friends with the same interests as me. It has boosted my confidence and given me the life skills that I will use to get a job in the future.
When I get ready in the morning, I decide which camera I'm going to bring to work. It's kind of like part of my morning routine. I photograph what I love. And most of the time I'm photographing just everyday things that are happening around me. I really like to capture natural interactions between people. I photograph my children a lot. I'm a big dad. And I also really am constantly looking for the way that light interacts with surfaces or textures or objects or space. So I kind of walk around all day taking pictures in my head. And then sometimes I'm able to capture those moments on the camera. So the Photos app that comes with IMAX operating system is actually pretty good. It doesn't offer everything. So I'll start editing pictures in Photos. It's mostly sliders, that work with exposure, contrast, brightness, shadows, highlights, that kind of stuff. And then I'll open the same image after it's edited in that program. I'll open it in Photoshop, and that gives me a lot more control. I can separate layers. I can really go in and touch up some areas or remove something from the background, or create more interesting blur effects. And the noise algorithm in Photoshop is pretty good too. So I like to add that noise element to the pictures, give it a little bit more of a retro feel.
My favorite thing to take pictures of is of people, so like portraits, mainly because you get to talk to the person, get to know the person. And when you first start off the photo shoot, I would say you start off nervous because you might not really know the person, and as you go along, you get to know that person and you start to feel more comfortable with them. And I just like the connections you make with the person you're taking the pictures of. The magnet has helped me in primarily teaching me how to use an actual camera. When I first came into the magnet, I had no idea on how to shoot on manual, and now it's like my favorite thing to do because you're telling the camera what to do. You have control of how that picture is going to come out. And I would say also in post-production, I've gained a lot of experience with Lightroom, and it's just brought my pictures to something else.
A commercial artist should definitely be very confident in their artistic style, because ultimately you want to be memorable, and the reason that a commercial artist is memorable is because their style is unique. It's almost like their signature in a way. And the best way to develop a style as far as commercial art is to just be confident and to really enjoy the process and the ideas and the themes that you approach in your graphic design and your illustrative work.
The best way to overcome a creative block from my own experience is just take a break. Maybe you're pushing yourself too hard. It's always important to take a break, take a moment for yourself. Because if you push yourself too hard, you're not going to get anything done because you're trying to work something that isn't there. You know, the well's dried up. You got to give it time to refill, you know? That's how your mind works. That's how creativity works. And that's how I think you should overcome a creative block. You got to give yourself a break.
First, I just sit with the idea in my head for like a while. I let it simmer, you know? And then I draw it, like a lot of different versions of the same idea, like thumbnails, which is what you call them, little mini sketches. And then I do a sketch. And then a lot of my art is collage, so I just kind of like grab whatever I find, glue it, and then that also adds to the creative flow. And it's just, a lot of it is kind of just like on the spot too. Sometimes I have an idea already, but sometimes I see something and I make something with it, you know? It's
My favorite form of art. So I'm a painter. My bachelor's degree was a focus on painting, and I do outdoor landscape painting. I find it's a really great way to like just disconnect from the everyday and get back to nature. I think looking at artists' works is a great way to help them connect with what their ideas are and what they hope to do with their work. You know, and using those artists as inspiration.
So my preferred working environment is actually the floor. I like working on the floor in Miss Hunter's class, but especially at home. I really like working at home and listening to music like super loud. That's what helps me like be the most productive.
So honestly, there's two main things. The community in at least Miss Hunter's classroom, I love it there. I've made a lot of friends there. It's always fun to be working there. And in terms of like my art, so as for my art making, Miss Hunter has a lot of different mediums and materials we can use, so it's definitely helped me explore a lot of different things that I normally wouldn't, and it's 100% helped me develop my art skills.
I joked earlier, it's like picking my favorite child. So I like all types of music, but country, so I'm sorry, those of you country fans, I'm not a fan of country. But everything else, good.
Do you have any upcoming projects?
So school-wide, we have 2 concerts coming up in December. So the Marching Band just finished their season, but we have our concert band, our elective band, brass choir, the Marching Band, orchestra, and jazz band. We all have projects and concerts coming up the second week of December. The jazz band and orchestra concert is that Wednesday, and elective band, brass, marching band, and wind ensemble is the Thursday. I think it's the 13th. So we have those 2 performances coming up in December.
So the music industry that we have now in modern days is all completely auto-tuned. The lyrics, like, you can't even feel the emotion. They have all these lyrics and it's really not something you can actually connect to, like old music from the 19th century or the 18th century where you could dance to it and you can feel the music. Now it's all auto-tuned and it's all fake and it's all generated and it's really not.
What was the most memorable?
I'd say our most memorable performance was our finals run last year. Since the year before we had lost our finals place by half a point, and we were really down on our spirits. So to be able to make it to the state finals that year was really important to us.
Well, that about wraps it up for this edition of Snake Eyes with your host, Jada Romero.
And Leslie Baluja. Thank you so much for watching.
Have a great cover day.